Hey guys, my name is Brendan Smith and welcome to the Heartbreaker Guitars YouTube channel. Today, we're all about travel guitars. Me, Jace, and Toby are gonna sit down, shoot them out, and just let you hear them, and then we wanna hear back from you. What do you guys like best? Okay, starting from the top, we've got Furch guitars, that's the Little Jane. Then moving on, we've got the Santa Cruz Firefly. The wee Lowden by George Lowden. Breedlove, a custom Breedlove. We've got the McPherson carbon fiber, and all the way over at the end, we have the Larrivée. So guys, let's jump right in and listen to these travel guitars. Okay guys, so here we go with travel guitars. That's Jason Kurtzen, this is Toby the Beagle, my name's Brendan Smith, and let's start right at the top here with Santa Cruz Firefly. This is a redwood top here. Now this is one of actually probably the most expensive of the bunch. This thing is north of $8,000. Here, another expensive one by George Lowden of Ireland. This is the wee Lowden 35. This is the Breedlove Companion. And in the back here, we've got the Little Jane by Furch Guitars. Now this is the only one of the bunch that's actually collapsible. The neck comes off. So we'll show you that later. Jace, what do you got over there?
Yeah, so right here we've got the Larrivée T44 travel size. It's a spruce over mahogany. It's got a really great look to it, satin finish. We have got the McPherson carbon fiber touring model. This is the honeycomb pattern with blue binding around the body and the sound hole, all carbon fiber except for the hardware. This one's got the blackout gunmetal hardware. And then over here we've got the Breedlove Companion from the Oregon series. This is all myrtle wood, top, back, and sides. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah.
Now Jay, the Breedlove is the only brand represented here where we have two guitars.
Yes.
So off the top of your head, what's the big difference between that and the Companion I was showing?
So this one is made in the USA. It's made in Bend, Oregon. This is all authentic myrtle wood. Now this one, the Tiger's Eye version, it is myrtle wood, but it's a laminate for the back and sides. So it's myrtle wood with African mahogany laminate for the back and sides. I believe the top is just myrtle wood, and those are made in China. So.
Okay. So before we jump in and get started, Jay, let's just run over pricing real quick.
Sure.
Okay. So as I mentioned, this one's around $8,500. This is the Santa Cruz, handmade by Richard Hoover in Santa Cruz, California. The Lowden, these run around $6,000. Wee Lowden 35 redwood walnut. As just mentioned, this is the Breedlove Companion. What version?
That's the Pursuit Exotic.
Pursuit Exotic. The Little Jane back here is about $1,600.
All right, so the Breedlove Companion there, that one is just a little bit under $3,000. The carbon fiber tourings are $2,795, and then the Larrivée T44 is right around $1,500 or so.
Okay, Jace, so without further ado, let's jump into these and let's start playing these guitars.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so we're gonna start off with the Santa Cruz. Now, here's the one thing about travel guitars, Jay, and Richard Hoover himself told me this. He says, smaller doesn't mean easier or faster to build.
Right.
These things take just as long as building a fancy customized dreadnought. So that's why they're not usually any less expensive than the full-size guitars.
Right.
Yeah, so this one here, this is redwood over Indian rosewood, and man, Jay, that redwood is just striking, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a great example.
Anyway, why don't you give us a little demo on this one?
Sure. Santa Cruz guitars are primarily, I would say, fingerstyle, so let's do a little fingerstyle for this one.
Very dynamic.
Yes.
What'd you think of that one?
That one's incredible. I kind of mentioned, off the top that those are fingerstyle instruments, and they do have like a really quick response time. You feel like you get every dynamic that you can eke out of that thing when you're playing fingerstyle. So
yeah,
sounds great.
Okay, so next on deck we've got the wee Lowden. This one is a redwood, Or is that cedar?
That's redwood, Sinker redwood.
Redwood, Sinker redwood over walnut. This is a 35 series, well-appointed Lowden. And the one thing I love about Lowdens, Jay, is they're ultra clear. They're known for their clarity. I mean, that's quite incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, this is actually the guitar that you'll see Ed Sheeran play on stage. He has his own line of guitars with Lowden, the Sheeran models, but most often he's actually using a Lowden. So
Right.
let's hear a couple. Why don't you play the same thing on that one? Sure. Beautiful, clear,
Excellent.
what'd you think?
Wonderful. Sinker redwood is pretty consistently my favorite top wood on acoustics, like from an aesthetic point of view, but also just like the sound, kind of that warm overlay that it gives you, and especially on a small body guitar, that's really important to have kind of, you know, those warm elements bolstered. So.
Yeah. I noticed it didn't have quite the body of the Santa Cruz,
Right.
but what it lacks in body, it definitely makes up for in clarity. I mean, it's just crystal clear. This guitar by Breedlove, this companion, is a fraction of the price of the more expensive Lowden and Santa Cruz.
Right.
So will this thing stand up to the guitars that cost thousands of dollars? I don't know, but let's have a listen here. Not bad, pretty clear.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, these companion models are right around $800, and the fact that that's $800 is pretty astounding, because that sounds incredible. Especially if you plug one of these into an acoustic amp, it's got all the low end and low mids of a full body guitar.
And that is a big selling point. It's got the onboard electronics, and the fit and finish on this thing, Jay, is just impressive.
It's great, yeah.
It's beautiful to match.
Yeah, the Tiger's Eye from Breedlove is what they call that finish.
It's got a real nice mahogany neck. Anyway, so since we're on Breedlove, why don't we jump over to the more expensive solid wood myrtle? This is kind of the wood that Breedlove is known for, isn't it?
Yeah, these are handcrafted in Bend, Oregon, and that's usually where a lot of the myrtle wood comes from that they use in their guitars. So, and obviously that has myrtle wood implemented into it. It's
a laminate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This one is your 100% pure myrtle wood top, back, and sides. Again, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So yeah.
Very organic. I really like that, and I gotta say, I think it sounded a lot better than the first Breedlove, which is fair because you've got solid woods, different construction. It's made in the U.S. Did you hear the same thing?
Yeah, definitely. Well, and also myrtle wood has a lot of the same fundamentals as like mahogany, maple, rosewood, where it kind of gives you that kind of deep bass and bringing out those undertones. And that's especially clear on like the companion model because you're dealing with such a reduced body size, but you get such a deep, throaty kind of. Like you have really nice low mids and lows, and it sounds really, really, deep and full-bodied. So
Yeah. Okay, Jay, so what's next on deck?
So next we've got the McPherson carbon fiber touring, and this one in particular has the honeycomb finish with the blue binding around the sound hole and the body. This one also is one of the blackout touring editions, so it's got the Goto gunmetal hardware. You can see you've got black strap button there, black end pin there. These things are just fantastic.
And this is the only one in the lineup that's carbon fiber.
Yes, indeed, yeah. And with McPherson guitars, for those of you who aren't familiar, kind of their big claim to fame is their R&D, you know, in terms of really kind of drawing out as much sustain and resonance as you can out of a carbon fiber guitar. So they've done a couple interesting things here. So number one, there's a cantilevered fingerboard. So the fingerboard does not touch the top, so it essentially allows it to ring more freely and true. And then we've also got the offset sound hole here, which Matt McPherson has explained that the most concentrated sound, or the most highly...
The sweet spot.
Yeah, right, the sweet spot is in the center of the soundboard. So he figured that putting a hole there was, you know, kind of a big mistake. So he moved it up, kind of reshaped it, and I think it really benefits these guitars. So let's do a little sound demo here.
Now that is not a wood guitar. I mean, come on, that sounds incredible.
I know, they sound really great. And one of the most astounding things about the touring models from McPherson too is if you plug one of these into an acoustic amp, you could not tell the difference if it was a jumbo size guitar. Essentially, it's so well balanced. It's got so much low end, and also the way that they've designed it just gives it so much clarity too. A lot of string definition. It's absolutely wonderful.
So, Jay, why carbon fiber to begin with?
Well, a couple different reasons. Number one, it's more durable. So, you know, that could be to anything like impact, or it could be to different climates. Obviously, Juan John, who's been on multiple times, he has that great story about how he left one in the trunk of his car in like 105-degree weather in Texas.
Yeah.
And he got it out. And once it was cool enough for him to actually touch, it was still perfectly in tune. So, if anything, I think that speaks wonderfully to the durability of these guitars and actually being able to be subjected to really harsh climates and staying in tune. So,
yeah, yeah. Okay, Jay, so next up, we've got the Little Jane. Now, this is a collapsible guitar. The neck comes off, the headstock comes off, and this thing actually fits into a backpack.
Yes, it does.
This is all solid wood. They haven't cut any corners, and really, this is an engineering feat. So one of the tests I like to do, Jay, with these types of guitars, I've only come across a few, but the Little Jane is definitely the best one, is to see if it stays in tune after you break it down. Right. So right now, it's pretty good, right? Now, let's break it down and see if it stays in tune.
Okay.
And the headstock is actually removable right here, but we don't have to do that right now.
All right. So strings are completely slack. So let's put the neck back in there. Very gently like.
Just like that.
Okay, now let's try that G chord again.
I mean, that's got to be hard to do, right?
Look at that. Well, those have locking tuners, so that's definitely...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they have the little locking mechanisms on the back. I also, isn't that why they have you feed the string through the nut as well? Yeah.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Now, when you place this in the backpack, the neck actually fits in here. So this is also kind of like a sound port, but it's got function because it holds the neck so it can fit in the backpack. Mm-hmm. So I think Furch really killed it on this guitar. I mean, it sounds fantastic too. If you give it a quick play.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. That's impressive.
It is, yeah.
I think that sounds freaking awesome.
Absolutely.
What do you guys think? What do you think so far? Let us know what you guys think in the comment section. What's your favorite travel guitar? So what do we got next, Jay?
We have got the Larrivée, we've got the Larrivée T44, which is pretty in classic presentation with the rest of Larrivée's lineup. You know, you've got the herringbone purfling here, you've got this maple binding, herringbone rosette.
All solid wood, right?
All solid wood, yeah. This is Sitka spruce over mahogany, which is a pretty classic combo. We've got the nice open back tuners here. Gives it sort of a vintage look. And the square headstock, same kind of deal.
Nice binding here.
Yes, indeed, yeah. And these have a lot of low end. They definitely, in my opinion, have a little bit more of a mid-rangey kind of punch. That might have something to do with the mahogany back and sides. But just in general, the Larrivée travel guitars, they're very, very mid-rangey. So here, let's check that out. See what I mean? Like much more mid-range oriented than maybe anything else up here. And I think a lot of that has to do with the way that Larrivée actually approaches the travel guitar. They want it to have more of a warmth, more of a punch to it, as opposed to kind of trying to fill out the top and bottom like other travel guitars do. So they're going for a different goal, I think, with a travel size guitar, and I think they accomplish it beautifully.
Okay. All right, Jay, I'm gonna put you on the spot now. Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna ask you two questions. Okay. Now, first off, do you have a favorite? Price notwithstanding.
I do. I think that I would probably roast me in the comments section, friends. I think I would probably go with the Breedlove, just because there's something about.
I don't blame you.
There's something about myrtle wood. Obviously, you know, the Santa Cruz and the Lowden, they're beautiful. Redwood's one of my favorite tops, but there's something about myrtle wood as, you know, a top, back, and side wood. It gives the guitar such a powerful sound, while at the same time quite soft. You know what I mean? So here, let me kind of show you. So obviously you can get into more of those, you know, percussive kind of. And it's got a lot of power to it. But like, for example, let's go ahead and switch to a flat pick here. Obviously it is, you know, really deep and full, and you have that power that you would associate with like mahogany, maple, rosewood. But especially when you use a pick, you can hear that there's a really nice high-end response to these two, which makes them great for, you know, soloing. So all of your notes, they have this great high-end response, while also still feeling like you're not sacrificing any of like the body to the sound, you know, because everything still sounds really deep and well distributed. So I would probably go with the Breedlove Companion. That is my pick.
Okay, so next question. All right, a little bit different. What's the best bang for the buck? Because we've got a huge range of price points here, from $800 to $8,000.
I would probably go with the Little Jane back there, because number one, it's portable. That definitely, it's at least the way that I kind of assess it, really increases its value. You can take it, you know, as a carry-on. It's really easy to take the neck and the headstock off and put them in the case. You can kind of take it anywhere, and despite the fact that you can break it down, you know, it's small enough to carry around in a backpack, it's got this full body tone to it. It's pretty incredible what they've managed to do. And I don't know if that's due to like the bracing or, you know, the voicing of the tone woods or whatever they do, but it's pretty amazing that they have such a full body sounding guitar for, you know, a guitar that's so small in size. And those are they're under $2,000.
Yeah. So, yeah. You know, I think for me, I just love the clean clarity of the Lowden.
Sure.
It's, I just love George Lowden. I love all his guitars, but the travel guitar, the Wee Lowden, is no exception.
Right.
In terms of bang for the buck, You know what? For me, that's a pretty easy one, and it's the Larrivée. Because you get USA quality. I mean, John Larrivée's been building guitars for 50 years. He knows how to build a guitar. It's got a simple look, but man, it sounds great, and the fit and finish on it is just, it's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So these are around, I think, 1,500, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got, I think, like 3 in stock. So
yeah.
Back now.
The Santa Cruz and the Lowdens, I think they speak for themselves. They're fantastic.
Yes. Yeah.
If you can, if you want to spend that much money on a travel guitar, that's a lot of money. But the McPherson, I think, is definitely a strong showing too. They're a little bit more pricing, mid to, like 2,500, 2,800.
Mm-hmm.
But
$27.95 for this one.
$27.95.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, what do you think? What's your favorite travel guitar? Let us know in the comments section. And guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Jason Kurtzen. My name's Brendan Smith. This is Toby the Beagle. He's checking out. And thanks for watching our channel. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.